Towards the continuing education points. If you have not signed in yet, the sheet is right there with Mr. Spike, who's in charge of that, right? So please, make sure you sign in, all right? I'd like to start this meeting by thanking a few people. Thanks John Paul for actually letting us host this meeting here and helping me. Also like to thank Alex Armento and Sean Hendrick for helping me to get the word out and bringing people from Fort Myers here too. I'd also like to thank Greg Welch for helping to put this together. He helped me to structure this meeting. Very kind of you. Thank you very much. Couple announcements. USPTA Florida Conference is going to be here in Naples in the fall next year. Took place in Port St. Lucie, so it's going to be in the Naples Beach Hotel. How many people are going to that conference next year in, next week in New York? All right. Again, good thing, like it's going to be here in town. Bad thing is like you're not going to have a week of vacation in Port St. Lucie. Right? The doubles strategy videos that I mentioned in my email, taking place after this. Doug and Vivian Welch are in charge of this, so if you guys would like to have some people flag that they would like to participate on that, look for Doug after the meeting and he can get you going. If not, weather doesn't permit, he'll make sure to schedule something for you. Okay? Also the round robin, I know some people are talking about the ice bucket already, whatever you guys are trying to do. We can do that after the meeting as well. Alright? I'd like to talk about the U30 group for some of the people who have not heard about it yet. This is a new USPTA learning that the industry is aging a little bit. Decided to actually start this organization for people who are under the age of 30. It's a great opportunity to get involved in the community and get you learn more about it. It's the whole purpose is to prepare people for the future. All right, if you guys know anybody under the age of 30 who would like to be involved, let us know. I can actually always point in the right direction. I also like to talk for a second about prints. To be quite frank with you guys, about January 1st was announced to us they were partnering up with Prince, and I've been with Ted for some time, and I was like, oh man, really we're going to do this? But after that I got to know Miguel Rasa about 4 months ago, and I'd just like to say that they're our partners now in the USPTA. If you guys have not given an opportunity to actually look into Prince yet, make sure to give them an opportunity. I did it. I'm very happy working with Miguel. It's been outstanding. The product itself is being better than I actually expected. And Miguel is such an easy guy to deal with. So if you guys ever want to give an opportunity, they're our partners. They're working with us. Make sure to talk to Miguel also after the meeting, or if you have to go, reach out to me. I'll make sure you get in touch with Miguel. Okay? A couple of other announcements. Roy Poinciana is looking for a shop manager. If any of you guys know somebody interested or looking for a job in that position, look for Ron St. John. Again, if you have trouble to find him, reach out to me. I'll make sure you guys find your own way. The Marco YMCA. But for that one, I'm going to let Raul speak a little bit about the position itself. Nobody better than you.
The job scope will incorporate some office hours with tennis-related work, some work on the court with some juniors, and some clinics with adults and some private lessons. So I'm looking right now to hire. So if anybody's interested, talk to me. I'll be around.
Well, the cardio tennis shop. I would like to ask Mr. Baldwin. We're being very fortunate to actually have Mr. Baldwin around us here because he's been bringing USPTA more and more to town here, making it very easy for us to actually get our education without leaving town. So Mike, why don't you speak a little bit about the cardio workshop?
Thanks, and thanks, Jose. I've heard other people saying this too. I've never been to a meeting with this many pros, and I think that's Jose right there. Not even close. All right, so we're hosting. Sorry, I don't have the flyer, but basically September 26th, which is a Friday. It'll be from 12 to 7. It's a cardio tennis training course. I can tell you, even at a club, Mediterra, I wasn't sure whether it would go well there. It's our most profitable program. We're running it 3 days a week, and it's packed. So if you're not doing it already, I really encourage it. And going to these courses can show you the drills and how to use the heart rate monitors and the music and all that. I would recommend you do it. It's normally $150. I just got an email from Michelle Trowsey, the cardio tennis guru, and she said anyone at this meeting, she's going to knock $50 off everything there. Yeah, perfect. All right.
And after this meeting, I'll make sure I'll follow up when you have the flyer ready, so reach out to everybody who actually has participated. And Alex and I can work on actually making a bigger blast on that. All right. With that being said, just a couple of things here. I thought about, like, when we structured this meeting to talk about teams, we're going to do like a presentation form. However, as the size of this room actually calls for a different strategy here. So if the question starts to be a little too long, I might actually just take it off and we follow up with the answers itself. Okay, just for the sake of time. At the end of the meeting, I'm going to let you guys, if somebody has any other announcements to make, I'm sure like CJ and Porter would like to speak a little bit about the program too. But I will actually try to stay in the schedule here so everybody get an opportunity to express themselves. Okay? With that being said, I'd like to actually introduce you the 4 people who are actually going to be here talking about the teams itself. Mike Curran from Gulf Harbor, Director of Tennis Gulf Harbor. Mr. Mike Baldwin, Director of Tennis and also on the board of USPTA, right? From Mediterra. We're very fortunate to have, I keep calling him a star here, Mr. Tom McGraw, USPTA National President, here with us. And also Mr. Anthony Hatori from Pelican Sound to discuss the teams. Okay? Did everybody, Mr. Mike Curran, to start with that, I'd like just to see how do you handle your teams at your club and what degree of involvement, what advantages and disadvantages you have, less than an hour.
Less than an hour. Can we do me last? Actually, when I talked to Jose, I said I would agree to come and talk a little bit about our club. It's a little bit different, I would say, than the average club, but I don't think there is an average club. Every club's a little bit different. We have devised a captain's council, like most clubs that have, I would say, more than 5 or 6 teams probably have done. And I can say every year it changes. It's a fluid document. I brought a bunch of this paperwork for you guys if you want to look through, and I can email it to anybody. It's an 8 or 9 page guidelines, if you will. But it really wouldn't, it's more of a guideline for you too. It really wouldn't fit each person's club because, every fingerprint's different. My main thing, I got 20 of them, so that good was yeah. My big thing is, to be honest with you, I've sent this out to some of the pros in Fort Myers who are trying to look to figure out how to structure their teams better. And the main thing is you have to have management from within your membership. You can't do this yourself. And actually, I feel like every pro in here should try to move towards some sort of system where the members take ownership of their leagues. Because if there's one thing that probably gives us all the most hassle in our country clubs, it's teams. It really is. It's getting involved with lineups, which is like the worst thing you can do as a tennis professional, because there's no right answer there. There's no way you can win. You're going to offend and upset somebody. You end up having all these arguments going up to the GM's office about how the program's being managed. So I would love to see every club's culture go to having some sort of guidelines, some organized infrastructure where the members kind of know what they're supposed to be doing before they get onto a team. And this is kind of what this is. When they join a team, they go in knowing exactly how the elections work, how our process works, that there's scenarios that we base. We have 28 teams in my club this year, and we capped our ladies teams off at 19. So we have much less men's teams than women's teams. And so that's why our ladies captain's council is what you're looking at here. The men's captain's councils are 2 weeks of pamphlet. They get together and sit and talk and hash it out in no time. We have 3 or 4 strategy meetings and scenario meetings before we can even populate teams in April once the ratings get out. So without going into it ad nauseum, I would say that I wish every tennis pro would try to make some sort of structure where they get, and I understand if you have a small club and you've got 2 or 3 teams, I don't think you could do it. I really don't think you could have a big system like this, because you kind of have to, if you have a smaller club like that, and I've been at them where I've had 4, 5, or 6 teams or something like that, you kind of got to get in the middle of it and mix it up and guide them through. But the larger your club grows and the more teams you have, you got to get out in front of it and have some sort of structure for them.
16 to 18 teams on 6 courts, which is kind of a tricky thing, but we seem to make it work out. And there's a big tradition at our club, and this was before I got here, that the teams manage themselves. So we're a little bit more like Mike in that situation. Our primary function as the pro shop and as the pro is that we make sure that everybody gets the paper. We give out paperwork, a pamphlet of when they can bring in their schedules. We make sure that everything's scheduled for them correctly, and if there's any conflicts, we make sure that's all taken care of. I don't know about everybody's club, but I know my club, people play on several teams, not just one team. We don't discourage them from making teams, even though we have a lot of teams. We're always under the assumption that we can make it work if they want to do it. So we try never to discourage making more teams. That being said, as far as my involvement in teams, I will do as much or as little as they would ask of me. So I've had some teams that would say, you know what, we're tired of fighting amongst each other, and we will all agree that you can make up the lineup, and we're all going to live with that. And I make them all sign something saying they're going to be okay with that, because they never really are.
They never
really are. And if there are some problems, then I'm happy to say, look, if we're going to have a problem with this, I'm happy to step away, and you guys can figure it out for yourselves. So there's some teams that take that option. Those teams typically have scheduled practices, and they have practice once a week, and they also have match day. And then some teams will put 2 practices, they'll come together because they have overlapping people, they'll do practices. I would say the vast majority of the teams at my club don't ask me to do that, though, which I'm perfectly happy with. They usually can figure out for themselves.
Mike and I talk from time to time. He shared that with me, and that's very helpful. So I would follow up and get that from Mike. I'm lucky now that I call it lucky. It's about 5 teams, so I think that's really easy to manage. I've only had it most in South County Regional Park back in both. I think we had 12 teams, so that was a little bit more to manage. And I did have a contract back then. I've really shifted away from that, right or wrong. I mean, if we've showed hands, I think you'd probably find most do it that way. So I'm just going to throw out there that it has worked for me to basically get the teams, like these guys said, as self-governing as possible, and ours are very self-governing. And like Anthony's, they were kind of doing that before I got there, and I didn't feel like I wanted to rock that boat. But the communication is still important, and the captains just do a great job of, at the beginning, sending out an email to the team of everything that's expected. I don't know, I should know the questions. Are we going to get into any of the details as far as in the next round of questions on the ratios and the pricing of the practices and all of that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I'll save that. But yeah, that's basically, that's it. I let the captains take the lead, even on lineups. Again, I don't want to get in the middle of that unless I have to. Making room for new players is tough. You hope you don't get into a challenge match situation. But I've used those, and unfortunately somebody gets their feelings hurt and probably doesn't play on a team for a couple of years. Had that happen, but if handled the right way, they don't go to the general manager's office and want you fired. They feel like you handled it fair, and then when they get over it, hopefully they come back to it later on. Paula, your ears might have been burning when we were at the CMAA thing.
I do. We take care of just about every detail, including signing them up for, as Vivian would, testify to, because I call her and tell her I've got to sign so-and-so up and to help me. We basically sign the people up. I communicate with the team as far as who's coming to practice, who's available to play. I do the lineups. We have a very small group of people doing it, though. We're a small club. Now, before I moved to Florida, I was in Kentucky, and I had 16 teams. And I did the same thing there. I did have more captain involvement, but I still did all the lineups every week for 16 teams. I've always felt like I was kind of better at doing it than they were.
I'm sure you are.
Okay, and so I figured the 10% that are going to complain are going to complain no matter what. I told someone one time that I taught about 160 people in Louisville on team tennis, and I had 130 of them that were delightful. 20 that I could put up with, and then 10 were just, they were possessed by the devil, and they were going to complain no matter what. But we, at Port Royal, we do everything. Now, I will say that it's kind of like dealing with a tennis committee. The team gets together, and I want them to set their goals for the year. I want them to make decisions about, okay, if you don't come to practice, do you still get to be put in the lineup? So I feel like I've got some, a little bit of shelter there because the team is coming up with their rules. I'm just enforcing the rules, and then I'm doing the lineups. So that's the way I've kind of always handled it. And, not every team's the same. I've had teams that came in and said, okay, we want you to do the lineups, but we don't care if we win or what place we come in. We just want an equal amount of play throughout the team. So they have, 12 people on the team. By the end of the season, I made sure that everybody kind of had played an equal amount. Other teams that, they say, we want to win the league, I'm going to do the lineups differently, and I tell them up front how the lineup needs to be done to accomplish their goal. So, I'm just more involved in the day-to-day and the communication than you all are, but right now I'm at a much smaller club, and I've always...
Big upgrade. Big upgrade for that.
I just wanted to add one more thing there that I thought was a real helpful topic when we did this over at PGA. One thing that seemed pretty common, and maybe we're all already doing this, is in the hour and a half, we're doing an hour of the drills and about a half hour of the supervised match play. Is that pretty common? And then the question came up about warm-ups, and they were surprised when I said this, so I want to put this out there. It might benefit some of you. That's, again, a very profitable part of what we do. We do charge for the warm-up. Some of you don't. That's great if you want to do that. But we're actually getting no complaints about $12 per person for the warm-up.
Wow.
Yep.
How long is an hour?
3 hours. We're actually doing $12 for a half an hour, which stretches a little bit. They didn't really want a 45-minute one. We were going to charge $15 for that, but they thought it was a little too long. They didn't want to wear themselves out. So just think about that. You might find a real nice, another profit center there.
Warm up before the match.
Warm up before the match. 2 coaches, 4 per court, which is perfect because we're playing 8 players. They're warming up with their partners, so that worked real well.
If anybody doesn't want their string, it's really crappy, you should give it to me and I'll take care of it for you.
Before we all take off, again, myself and Laura are going to be doing the Naples Pro League again this year. If you're interested in playing, please notify us or come see me. We'll get you in the draft. We have another great schedule. I think we have 11 matches this year. Sites are all taken care of. Sponsorships we're still working on, but we're doing all the work now. So if there's anybody interested in playing,
When's the start date, Anthony? When you guys planning to start?
I want to say I want to say the middle of October would be our first match, and then there's a little break there around Christmas, and then we start again in the middle of January. Last year was the first year me and Warren have done it together. We had some really good sites. This one's a great site right here, and a bunch of them. So we're looking to build on that. We have a Facebook page, so if anybody's interested, that'll be updated and has all the sponsors, schedules, all that sort of thing. Anybody wants to know about Naples Pro League?
Is that the Prince Naples Pro
The
League?
Prince Naples Pro.
Hey, look, we're still looking for a title.
There we go.
Also, one thing I wanted to put before we're done with this, and this summer we've been doing kind of I call it a team building exercise with the tennis pros. We're playing golf. The SADX Cup. And the SADX Cup, they called it. Next August 31st is going to be at the Quarry at Joel Hampton's place. So if anybody golfs and wants to play, we get between 16 and 25 guys out. We've done it about 5 or 6 times.
Even if you don't golf, just
Even if
bring
you,
money.
well, that'll be August 31st. That's at the
Especially if you
Quarry.
don't golf, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Big one thing. I know it's August, but we've been given the USPTA National Clay Courts will again be at the landings in May of next year.
All right.
We're shooting for $10,000 in prize money. We're working on a sponsor
the entry fee to 60 instead of 80 for singles and 30 for doubles instead of
50 and 25.
50 and 25.
50 and 25.
Okay, so
And you'll get your money within the 6 to 8 months. I thought it was free. I guess we're gonna get out of this. I don't know.
If there's any question or anything that's not answered on this email, on this meeting, please email me. I'll make sure that the word gets out back to you. I'll try to follow up with the emails with the dates. Probably gonna see my email coming through for the cardio tennis and all this sort of stuff for the tournaments, and anything that comes USPTA, you're probably gonna be looking for an email from me. Probably like a follow-up email, because I'm gonna follow up with this, a couple documents that we have in here. Just the last thing I'd like to do before we wrap it up this, I have coordinator in CJ here from FGCU, and maybe they can speak just 2 or 3 minutes about their own program. I know you guys came a long way here, almost falling asleep.
See you!
Well, anyway, I'm CJ Weber. I'm the head men's coach at Florida Gulf Coast. I just finished up my 3rd season, and I want to thank you guys for the invitation coming here, and every year here I just feel a closer and closer connection with the community, and I'm just really impressed with just how much tennis is going on in the area and everything like that. And I think I can speak on Courtney's behalf as well. It's like we just we want to be a part of that, and we want your guys' members to be a part of our programs, and just hopefully create this very nice symbiotic
On the map right now.
Courtney, what do you have to say? CJ, enough!
I don't really have a lot to say because CJ pretty much covered everything, but you know, I just finished my 1st year here. I was in Tampa, and I'm really grateful because I feel like every pro I've talked to in every club has been really welcoming of me and of the girls, and so I'm very thankful for that, and I want to help you guys in any way I can also, so please, you know, I have my card here, and any way I can, you know, help you, and you guys can get to FGCU and see some good tennis, and we can help each other really grow tennis in this area. I think it's a really fantastic thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I know him, and
One last thing, you know, a lot of us have been coming to these meetings for absolutely forever, all right? And let's congratulate Jose. This is the first time in many, many years. Then we have Fort Myers, Estero, Benita, Naples, Marco, everybody, you know, participating. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, never seen a meeting bigger than this either.
we really should get a picture.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I got my picture. You got it.
We need to get a group picture.
yeah, that's what thank you very much, guys. Feel free to stick around. We have CTA here if you guys have more questions. USTA is here. Have Ultimate Tennis, which is a new thing here. Feel free to speak to Scott as well. But feel free to stay around, network a little bit. Remember, videos with Doug, if you actually want to shoot a video. And I don't know if the weather's going to permit you to play a round robin, but I can stick around here. All right, thank you very much.
12 to 7. I think that's a long time, but they've got a lot they want to teach you. We are going to provide lunch as well, and you get 3.5